Legends fade to myth. Even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. One of my very strong beliefs is that if you want to know what happened in the last 100 years, you read modern history. If you want to know what happened before that, you go to the Middle Ages. But if you really want to know what happened like more than 4,000 years back, you need to start visiting mythology. The Wheel of Time fever has caught on. The makers of the show have started releasing teaser information from the sets, and it's really cool. Now, why I'm picking up to read this book now when I had discovered the books almost like 15 years back is primarily because the show is coming out. This Amazon Prime show looks really promising and it might be the next big thing. And as we all know, at times these shows turn out to be really good and at times they turn out to be really bad, and sometimes they are good and bad at the same time. So I don't want to risk this beautiful set of books for a good or a bad show. I just want to read the books before the show comes. And if the show is good, it will just enhance the experience. And if the show would be bad, then I had already enjoyed the books beforehand. But unlike Game of Thrones, I'm very positive about this show because the raw material and the story for this show is already there. Game of Thrones, we know, is still to come to an end as a series of books, and George R.R. Martin is still working on it. But Wheel of Time is a finished fantasy series and the raw material is already in place. Getting on to the books, now Wheel of Time is an immensely celebrated modern fantasy, and I've heard about it so much that it's not even funny. This series is known for the various cultures and religions that are developed within the world of the story, and it is said that those cultures have been actually derived from the religions and the cultures we have in the real world around us, and that is something which I really want to examine while I'm reading this series. I have heard that it takes its inspiration from Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, along with many other religions. So a lot of people, when they start talking about the book, they talk about the first 4 chapters differently and the rest of the chapters differently, and there's a good reason for that. The first 4 chapters are more of a build-up. They make us familiar with the setting, they tell us about the characters and set the ground for the events to come, and then 5th chapter onwards, the action starts to happen. I had initially planned that I would do a video for the prologue and the first 4 chapters and then make more videos later for the subsequent chapters, but I realized that the video would become a bit too long. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to talk about the prologue and the first chapter. So the prologue starts explosively with the revelation that a war has just come to an end and there has been a lot of bloodshed and death. Now I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because that might result into some spoilers. So I'll just mention that a war, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of death, and the mention of a beautiful, magnificent palace. There is also a mention of Shaitan, which is a very clear derivation from Islamic beliefs. After this, the first chapter starts with one of the most iconic lines ever, which I absolutely loved. And these lines go, "The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legends fade to myth. Even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again." Now, this was so beautiful and it got me hooked to the book just like anything. One of my very strong beliefs is that if you want to know what happened in the last 100 years, you read modern history. If you want to know what happened before that, you go to the Middle Ages. And if you want to know what happened before that, then the classical history and so on and so forth. But if you really want to know what happened like more than 4,000 years back, you need to start visiting mythology, and that is where you can get the threads of what actually happened. And I've always wanted to do that, and I will probably get into it someday, but this is exactly where this book starts from. And this is a very clear reference to Hinduism because the way they are talking about the wheel of time, those of you who have seen the older version of Mahabharat, you know मैं समय हूँ and मैं समय का चक्र हूँ. So you know how the references have been always there in Hinduism when it comes to the wheel of time. And when he's talking about the idea of ages, we all know we have Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and all of that all set, the 4 yugas all set in the Hindu mythology. So that's a direct connection with the Hindu mythology. And when I discover such ideas in fiction, I find it really thrilling. So moving on from this overwhelming idea, I also found a tiny mention of the idea of meditation, which is also a very strong Buddhist and Hindu idea. So one character is explaining things to another one and they go like, "Concentrate on a single flame and feed all your passion into it. Fear, hate, anger, until your mind becomes empty." Now, this is exactly the principle on which meditation works on. Apart from this, there was also a mention of reincarnation in the prologue itself, when one of the characters, while talking to the other, says that this is not a first fight, we have been doing this again and again, we have been reborn so many times, and that is what's going to happen over and over again. So the idea of reincarnation is also there. Apart from this, the fun bit was that there was going to be a feast, a party, for which everyone was getting ready, and there were going to be some massive fireworks as well. So that bit kind of reminded me of Lord of the Rings as well, and how that story started and took off. So that's all I'm going to talk about the Wheel of Time book 1 today, which is The Eye of the World. I've shown this book you so many times, and it's got some really nice maps also. I think you should get a copy and you should read this book. I'm not planning to do a chapter wise summary as for now. I'm just planning to pick up such bits that I've discussed today and then talk about them as I keep reading on. But if you guys want me to make chapter wise summary videos for this book as well, let me know. I'll try doing that also. So are you guys reading any exciting books these days? Let us talk about it. Discussing books is always so thrilling, and some people might find this statement hugely ironic. But anyway. Alright guys, keep reading, stay safe, and cheers.